Hi, what's up, stoners? Welcome to the local band Smokeout. What's up, guys? Welcome to another local band Smokeout. I'm your host, Tyler Most BG, and it is my pleasure to have Mr. Raytown himself, David Leach from Dirty Machine. You can find him at Dirty Machine Band or at david.leach.92505. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing, brother?
I'm excellent. I don't think many people know, but we've been friends for like a really, really long time. So this should be fun and lots of laughs and stuff.
Yeah, man, since the whiskey, like 20, 13, 14.
Sounds about right. You had the pleasure that evening of playing with Hit'em, if I recall.
Yeah. Yep. I still love Hit 'em to this day.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it. So yo, what's I always see you talking about Raytown. What does Raytown mean to you? I know you grew up and were born there, but you take it to a whole nother level. Like you are Mr. Raytown.
Yeah, man. Raytown's a little suburbia in Missouri, outside of Kansas City, Missouri, or inside. I don't know. I probably butchered the geographic of that, but it's basically a little suburb, which is a lot like Burbank, California, to you Cali people,
Mhm.
which is why I gravitated to Burbank so much. But basically, I mean, I was the crazy kid in my town. I was the jackass kid. I grew up in the MTV era, like as did you, and so everyone knew who I was. I used to get up on a billboard in the middle of our town square and airplay Limp Bizkit. It was private property. The cops couldn't touch us. So we'd play the whole album of Chocolate Starfish, piss everybody off. And that was at like 13, 14. So when I reached high school, of course, the Jackass guys influenced me a lot. And I just always did crazy, outlandish stuff. And my town always embraced me for it. They always had my back. And when I went on MTV Road Rules in '07, that was kind of the first time leaving the nest. And they followed me through that. They followed my journey all the way to LA and the band. And I don't know, I'm just very proud of where I'm from. And a lot of people aren't. And I love my city. I rep my city and they rep me back.
I think that's cool. I think that's really cool that you do that. I definitely do not rep West Palm Beach that hard. But I was gonna ask you about Road Rules. So Road Rules kind of like ended for you in like a strange way, but I've never really
Mhm.
gotten that whole story.
Man, so when you're my age, brother, so you that shit was big when we were growing
It's
up,
huge,
it
huge.
was that. So my first dream was to be on the real world. That was from as early as I can remember. So I sent in my audition tapes. That's a whole story in itself. They called me and they said, we're not going to put you on Real World Australia, but would you do Road Rules? So I was like, of course. So that was a dream come true, man. That was the first time leaving my mom's basement, and
Yeah.
we shot it all in LA. They kept us on Ventura Boulevard and hotels. So that was my first, experience of LA. Anyway, we shot it, and you got to keep in mind this was the MySpace era. So this was the first social media experience I had. So the show was huge. It was shot weekly. It would air weekly. So viewers, the interactiveness with the viewers was real time. It was, 4 days on, 4 days off, and then the shit would air on TV. So you got to think there was thousands of people messaging me on MySpace, thousands, girls, of course, and I'm 19 years old. Girls have never messaged me before or thought I was attractive at that point. So I was like, oh my god. So I was basically
Did they trick you?
leak,
Did they trick you?
kinda. I was basically leaking what would happen before it would air to girls online, and these girls would take that information, go to these blog sites, these cheat sheets,
Mhm.
and they would leak the show. And the producers finally caught on, like, how the fuck does everyone know what's going to happen before it happens? And basically, everyone on the show looked at me. They're like, "It's got to be David," and it was. It was.
That's
And so,
hilarious.
so to kind of slap my ass, they kicked me off the very last episode before I won $30,000 on a new car. That was kind of their fuck you back to me.
Damn. And
So
then
that's
that
what
they never MTV will never allow you to work with them again because of it, or
I don't know. I was blackballed for a long time. I tried to be on the challenges. I was always training and preparing and got in really good shape for them. And they just never called. They called me a couple times for an availability, like if someone died or got in a fight, they would call me. But I mean, even that was 10 years ago. Now I'm going to be 35 next month, so I'm too old now. So,
But you were in This Is Us, and if it's okay, I actually have that queued up, so I'm going to share that real quick so people can see it. Uh, it is right. Oh, not that one. I think it's. Let's do this one first. Can you queue up this from State of Affairs? So since all the drama, you still have some acting fame that's come into place, and this is one of my favorite scenes that I've seen you do because you blow up.
yep.
Anything more boring than a sick?
I gotta mute it because Facebook's weird with like copywriting stuff. But you want to queue up the scene, like what actually is going on right here?
So basically, I'm a bodyguard for like a very popular senator or a politician. And basically, the night before, I got drunk, hooked up with a college girl. This is my boss, and he's kind of giving me shit for it, which is Nestor Carbonell, one of the best actors ever. He's the nicest guy ever. You
Lost is
might
one of
know
my
him
favorite shows.
and you might know him from The Dark Knight. He's the mayor.
Yeah.
So he's just an amazing guy. This was my first talking role ever, big role. I was so nervous, and he was just the nicest guy. He calmed me down. He talked me out of my own head. But basically, that scene is I had a very important hard drive on me. This college girl, which was a terrorist, got me drunk, hooked up with me, stole it, gave it to terrorists, and then they blew me and the senator up. That's kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah, I thought that was the part that shows the explosion, but that was just a good scene to at least show you. So let's talk.
And
Or you go, you go. My bad.
no, I was just saying that's a very realistic part for me because I probably would have got drunk, let my guard down, and caused many people to die from terrorism if I was in that position. So that wasn't too much of a stretch.
Yeah. So do you actually? So when you prepare for roles like that, do you actually drink? Well, I imagine you don't because you remember your lines and stuff. But have there ever been like a scenario where they wanted you to actually party before a scene or something?
No, man, I've never gotten that in depth in a role yet. That's I would love to get like that character acting thing going. But every role I booked, I've been terrified once I've been on set. So I just didn't want to fuck up. So I kind of just play it safe. But that's my dream role, to take on a role where I actually live the character, get drunk if he gets drunk, all that stuff.
That's cool. Let's talk about the band a little bit. You guys are playing Rebel Rock, man. So exciting. We've known about it for like a year, but then obviously COVID happens. But what was it like when you found out we're in?
Uh, well, brother, I got some very sad news on that. We got fucked.
What happened?
So we actually bought onto that festival. We paid $2,500 to play on the main stage because it's I've worked my whole life to open for Limp Bizkit, so I thought that it's basically pay to play on a larger scale. But the promoter fucked us, and even though our contract says main stage, we talked to him the other day. And where I'm coming is every band listening to this needs to take warning in this because this happens a lot, and I don't want it to happen to you. But basically, he said since COVID happened, the old contract is void and the new contract is whatever he wants it to be. Therefore, we're going to be on a second farmers market stage in the parking lot at an undisclosed time instead of what we paid $2,500 for.
Are you still gonna do it, or are you just gonna get your money back?
We can't get our money back. That's not going to happen. I'm basically going to have to take this one on the chin, man. We can't justify flying out there, renting gear, hotels, probably $4,000 to get us out there to be on an undisclosed stage that we have no idea what it sounds like, what it looks like, and we have no idea what time it is. The later in the day is just going to put us in line with a national act that's going to take any crowd we have. So it's just I know that was a great segue. I was like, man, I wanted to be pumped, but it's also a good learning lesson to every musician, artist out there that you have to be careful and you have to watch your back. And I should have known he was a shady motherfucker from the start, but the 14-year-old kid in me just saw opening for Limp Bizkit, unfortunately.
Yeah. Speaking of Limp
And
Bizkit, I mean that's just awful, but I know you guys will be fine in the long run. But that is totally
yeah,
the shiciest thing ever. But speaking of Limp Bizkit, I know you told me the stories. I don't want to spill all the beans, but what was it like going on stage in this video when you got to play with Fred?
I mean, as you can see, I've been preparing for that my entire life.
Entire
I
life.
I could have done that in my sleep. That was no rehearsal between me and Fred. There was no planning between that. I've been kind of repairing my relationship with Fred for the last 4 years. You know, like for a couple, like 2017, I was doing a bunch of douchey shit. I was constantly tagging him, showing up to places he was at, just doing stupid shit. And I never meant it in a negative way, but I'm sure he was getting sick of me. So my drummer, Nightmare, has been mending that relationship between me and Fred for the last 3 years. And
Kudos
he
to
got me
Nightmare.
for, yeah, kudos to Nightmare for that. Nightmare definitely repaired that, put in major work to repair that as well. But me and Fred, we've become, acquaintances and I'd say friends. I mean, if I saw him, I'd say hi to him on the street. It wouldn't be awkward at this point. But at the Roxy, I let him know that I was outside. I said, "Hey, brother, I'm here. What's up?" The next thing I know, his road manager comes in, brings me inside. I get to watch their sound check, my favorite band of all time. Each band member comes up, introduces himself to me. This is a completely empty Roxy Theater on Sunset Boulevard, just me, Limp Bizkit, and their crew.
That
I'm
is
watching
awesome.
them do. I'm watching them do "Take a Look Around." I'm watching them do, a couple other sound check songs. At no time did Fred say he's going to bring me up on stage. I put the idea in his head. I messaged him earlier in that week. I said, "Hey, brother, if you do full Nelson, I'll be front row, just saying, winky face kind of thing." And after I got to watch the sound check, Nightmare showed up a couple hours later. We're waiting outside to get in. I said, "Dude, I'm going up for full Nelson." And he goes, "You think?" And I go, if I ever was going to get the chance, it would be tonight." And sure enough, man, they did Nookie and they transitioned into full Nelson. And he was he goes, "Who knows this shit?" He's kind of pacing the crowd. I'm like, I knew it was going to be me.
Yeah.
I knew it was. And I knew that if he did bring me up there, that could possibly be the last time I ever do that with him. And I needed to make it count. So I went all out with it, man. And
That was great.
it was clockwork. I mean, like I said, I know how he moves better than he knows himself, you know.
Mhm.
I knew every part I was going to take. I knew every part he was going to take, and that's why it looked so good.
Hell yeah, it came out fantastic, and what a what a way to nail the moment too. Like I'm sure Fred was probably like, "Damn, he's killing it." And like what?
Yeah, man. That's why I was really pumped for the Florida thing, man. That's why buying onto it wasn't going to be a problem. I mean, it was kind of an impulsive thing to do, but and it got delayed a freaking year and a half. I mean, we booked that in January of 2020, pre-COVID.
Mhm.
So yeah, man, I wanted Fred to see us live, and I think that day will come where we share the same bill again, and we don't have to pay $5,000 to do it.
It'll happen. So you guys aren't really known. I want to talk some more about band stuff. Also, I know you guys aren't really known for covers, but how did Party in the USA come about? And can you talk about what Augustus meant to you?
Yeah, man. So basically, working at Domino's in Burbank, I'm in my car 5 hours a day, and I listen to everything. A huge Miley fan, always been. And I just remember it was on my shuffle, my Apple Music, and it came on, and I was singing it, and I was kind of singing it in my version of it. So I was like, wow, I could actually probably do this and not have to sing it. So I brought it into practice, and of course, the mad scientist that I am, I bring it in and I shot the idea to the guys, and Kevin Hicklin started playing the riff. Mike gave me a beat, and we wrote it, and we didn't think much of it, but it was all in line with the Chiefs Super Bowl, the champ stamp. I wanted to put something out, all that. So everything was we needed something to put out for it, and we brought it to Gus, and of course the Gus said, "Fuck yeah, let's do it. I'll make you sound good." and we did the best we could with it. So that was, I think, the third or fourth song at the time we did with Gus. And, you know, as most people know, and if you don't know, he was our producer that kind of resurrected our sound and the band, because at the time he popped into my messages to work with us, the band was annihilated. Darren Davis had just walked on us. Arnold from Fused by Defiance stepped away from us. So it was just me, Mike, and Akusa, me, Nightmare, and my DJ. So Gus kind of revived the band, and I'll always be thankful for him for that. And he passed away, for your viewers, if they don't know, he passed away last September.
R.I.P. Gus. I never got the chance to meet him. I don't think I can't think of a time when I did meet him, but I always wanted to meet him. Can we see I know it's not related, but can we see the champ stamp real quick? Live in effect?
Yeah, if I can, I'll try to set it up. Hold on.
Do you regret getting it?
Not at all, man. Only if I go to prison.
That a boy.
If I go to jail one day, yeah. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, we can see it. There it is.
Yeah.
The champ stamp in all its glory. Of course, you got him to actually sign it on Kimmel, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And you've kind of, being such a diehard Chiefs fan, it has kind of unlocked some Chief Kingdom magic for you.
It has, man. I mean, obviously the last Super Bowl would have been nice to get a two-piece on it, but yeah, it brought Kansas City together, and especially my town, Raytown. Nothing surprises them. Anything I do, so they weren't shocked at all. But yeah. It kind of brought a lot of cool people together, and it was awesome, man. I don't regret it at all.
That's
it's
awesome.
A memory.
It's such a cool, just a cool memory, and people always want to see it, and they have a good laugh out of it, and that's what it's all about, just having fun. If you could take one album only to an island, what album are you taking?
Wow. Hawthorne Heights first CD in silence and black and white, without a doubt.
Surprise,
Did
motherfucker.
not see that coming. Did not see that coming.
I know, right?
How many times have you seen Hawthorne?
I've seen him once, and this was when I was a punk-ass 18-year-old with braces. I was built like a brick house, and me and my friend, we went and saw him at it's called the Granada Theater in Lawrence, Kansas, where KU is. And okay. We just tore the place apart. We outweighed everyone there by 100 pounds, and we were just the assholes in the pit. But I was singing every song, so all the emo kids were embracing me at the same time as I was killing them. I was a Slipknot, built like a Slipknot guy in a Hawthorne Heights pit, and I was choke slamming motherfuckers, rock bottoming people. I mean, that album just reminds me of simpler times. My 2004, my senior year, was one of the best years of my life, and just football and just being a kid, and no bills, no worries in the world. And that album, out of Limp Bizkit, Korn, Slipknot, ICP, that album was actually my anthem of that year, and I still listen to it to this day. It's a just push play. In my opinion, it's an iconic emo album of that time.
It totally is. So we all grow up with a lot of goals in life. One of my goals was to have my own damn beer, and you beat me to it, you son of a bitch. What was it like having your own beer?
It was awesome, man. I mean, even though it had a short run, I don't know what happened. The brewery, I can't even say it. The place we were working with, things kind of just went south, so it kind of ended. I don't really know what happened, but it was amazing, man. It was really cool, and it was awesome that we had Dirty Machine on it, and just that the couple beer releases we did in my hometown. I mean, it brought people together that I hadn't seen in 16 years, and it was cool, man. But yeah, it was awesome, and I want to hopefully work with somebody again one day that can revamp it and get it out there, especially if we keep winning Super Bowls or stay competitive.
Well, hopefully my Vikings see you in the Super Bowl this year.
That would be cool, man. You're due. You guys are due.
We haven't been there since the 70s, so we are due. What is your favorite Dirty Machine track you've ever written, and why?
Without a doubt, J-Dead, because as you know, that's kind of around the era I met you, and that's when I was hungry, and that is my life story. J-Dead from front to back is my life story from landing at LAX in 2007 up until now, and it was the first song Dirty Machine wrote together. And I just remember writing those lyrics on a napkin in a 7-Eleven parking lot in North Hollywood. Straight up, just living the dream. 2:00 in the morning, outside of a 7-Eleven, jotting down lyrics on a hot dog napkin. And I remember the magic we had making that at the time. Even though if you listen to it now, it could use some serious love and affection and dated. It's dated now, but it's just the magic of making that. I really felt like I was doing the damn thing. And here I am 8 years later with the band still going, numerous lineup changes, deaths, everything, pandemics, breakups, you name it, and it's still going strong. So it's that without a doubt is my favorite song ever for Dirty Machine.
That's worth a definite hell yeah for sure. I'm pretty sure Hargrave started, but how did Dirty Machine actually start?
Yeah, so Mickey Hargraves, Mickey Graves, he had that band, man. Mickey's a Sunset Strip warrior. He's been around. He's been in bands for 25 years, 30 years. He's born and raised in Altadena, grew up at the Whiskey A Go Go. So he, through all his numerous bands and lineups and projects, he formed Dirty Machine. I don't want to tell you what year because I'm not sure. But so I answered an ad on Craigslist that my first drummer, Josh Regan, who I hope to this day is doing well. I've lost contact with him. He posted an ad on Craigslist that said, looking for a singer, influences Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, Meshuggah, OTEP, something like that. And I remember at the time I was in Burbank, I was unemployed, strictly actor mode at that point, had no reason to be in a band. But I said, that could be cool. I answered the ad, man, and it kind of just one practice turned into 3, turned into 2 months, turned into a year. And the next thing you know, Dirty Machine was playing the Whiskey with you, with OTEP, Fused by Defiance. And I never kind of let the ball stop rolling after that point. But to answer your question, we were at practice one night. And at that point, we kind of had Self-Made Hero, our song Self-Made Hero. We had C4, we had J-Dead, and we were trying to think of what to call ourselves. And just like every band does, we were all sitting around with a notepad, jotting down ideas. And Mickey said, man, what if we used the name Dirty Machine? That was a band of mine. I think it would fit this project. It was kind of like if one of us misses, the machine doesn't work well, that kind of, cheesy band shit. But we were like, yeah, Dirty Machine. And from that night on, man, we were Dirty Machine.
I love it. Good stuff. So you've worked with Franz and ICP.
Uh-huh.
Who would you want to work of the two? Would you want to work with again?
So Franz was I don't even know how that came about, man. Augustus was like, dude, I hit up Franz on Twitter. He said he'll jump on the Dirty Ones for like $2,000. And I didn't even know who he was. No offense to him, but I didn't know who Attila was. I've heard of him, but everyone in the band was like, holy shit. And Arnold from Fused by Defiance, when he was in our band, he actually coughed up the dough to put Franz on it. And I was working my domino shift. Franz apparently came to North Hollywood, recorded his part on the Dirty Ones, which is epic, recorded that in like fucking 15 minutes, 2 takes, and was out the door before I could even get off work to get a picture with them, meet them, thank them, anything. So, and I got there, I drove 90 miles an hour to Gus's studio. He played it for me. Of course, my mind was blown. And then after that day, I became a Franz fan, and I did all my research on Attila because that just wasn't my era. I listen to Limp Bizkit. So I'm an old head in that sense. But he played me what Franz did on the song, and I was blown away. I mean, it elevated the song, and we got thousands of new fans from his name being on it. And I would love to work with Franz again, man. I mean, he's amazing at what he does. ICP, the same, man. We toured with them for 2 weeks. It was a dream come true. I didn't see them the entire tour because they're surrounded by bodyguards that won't let you near them. But the last show we had with them in Austin, Texas, they let us backstage, and I got to shake their hand and thank them for, you know, just everything they've done for me, you know, because they're a big part of my life, man. I grew up a juggalo. I met my best friend Kevin Downing because we're juggalos. They're part of my pop culture growing up, and I got to thank them for that in person, and it meant a lot to me.
I don't think I've ever met Kevin, but as long as I've always known you, I've always heard you talk about Kevin, how he's pretty much your best friend, and I've seen some of the old school Jackass videos of you guys messing around and stuff. He seems like a cool
Yeah,
cat, dude.
you'd love him, man. I don't. He was out there. He lived in LA with me for a little bit. I don't know why we didn't get around with you, but you'll meet him one day. He's my Preston from Jackass, man. He's my KG from Tenacious D. He's just my. We are Tenacious D, and we are. I'm Jack Black. He's Kyle.
I love it.
That's kind of the relationship we've had, man. You can't get Leach without Downing, kind of thing. So I talked to him earlier today too. So he's doing good.
Hell yeah! So we're watching a video that actually was I think the last time I've seen you in person was at this video shoot, which you were kind enough to let me and my son Lyric hop in for some quick cameos. I appreciate that. And this song was a completely different sound than you guys had done up to this point.
Yeah.
Do fans generally receive this song with open arms, or are they like, where the hell is the new metal?
So this is most fans would call this the midlife crisis stage of Dirty Machine. Like this is kind of when we were just throwing shit against the wall to see if it would stick. I love this song, and I know you
I do
did
too. I do too.
And for all your listeners and viewers and all our viewers that are watching, BG, you are one of my most trusted best friends that I've had in my LA era. To this day, I send you. So I send you stuff, man. I would always send you our unreleased shit, and I still will to this day when we have something to send you. I mean, you mean a lot to me, and your opinion means a lot to me. And I remember when I sent you this song, and you were like, "Dude, it's fucking cool." It's not what I expect, but I like it.
Yeah.
And so this is actually the reason I'm cool with Arnold now, so I can say this, but this is why Arnold quit the band. He hated this song.
Yeah.
And I'm sure most metalheads would quit over this song. It started out as a joke, and I remember I wanted to make a trap song where it was kind of like ICP-ish, where it's like burning all these bridges and the fucking these bitches. And of course, Gus, from the course of a domino ship, took the hook and turned it into fucking Blink 182 meets fucking Smash Mouth. I have no idea where he mustered the thought of that or everything. And BB was written in the course of 8 hours, and what you heard and what our fans heard is kind of what came out of that. It's my girlfriend's favorite song of ours, and I know a lot of people like the song. It's just it didn't really make sense. It was just kind of a weird time in Dirty Machine. I don't know. So I hope we
I
can do
love
it
it.
live one. I hope we can do it live one day. And I think if we got enough steam behind us and we actually got notoriety, I think the song would kind of have a cult following behind it. You know?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites from you guys for sure. But it is one of the complete opposite of all the other songs you guys got. But that's cool. That's what makes it fun and fresh and different. And you're willing to be like versatile and try different things, experiment. Some people are just locked in a box, and that sucks. Don't be locked in a box.
But it was fun to have you and your son, man, and the Fiat. It was just a fun shoot, man. Like, of course, in LA, I invited, I hit up probably 30 people to show up. And of course, day of shooting, you get the flake text, the monologue, grandma dies, dog's dying. But of course, my most trusted friend showed up. You, your son, my coworkers, just the homies. So, I really appreciate that, and you guys made it possible for sure.
Well, thank you for the invite. We'll always show up. If we're available, we will be there. You
Yeah.
know what? For being such a weed heavy personality, I can't recall if we've ever smoked together. I've never even thought about it. Have we ever smoked weed together?
We haven't, and if we did, it would have been probably backstage at the Whiskey Man, because we used to get pretty lit up in those rooms, man. We'd take those over back in the day, and I had those early whiskey shows with you were so much fun, man, because we were local bands, but we were bringing heads and we were packing the place, and so I don't think we did, man. I can't. I have to be in the right environment if I do that, and I usually go to sleep at this point. I'm getting old.
No worries, no worries. I only got like 2 left, and I'll let you get back to your busy schedule. This one's gonna make you laugh though. You met David Drummond from Disturbed once at a radio station, and
Yeah.
you had to do something pretty damn crazy to pull that off. Can you tell us that story?
Of course. So this was, again, man, Raytown, Missouri. Nothing surprises my hometown. This was 2006. It's when Disturbed they just dropped their Believe album, which is my favorite album from them. So I remember David Draymond was coming to our local rock station, 98.9 The Rock, which sold out. And now they're like Jimi Hendrix. Ace, nothing wrong with Jimmy, but they don't even play current metal anymore, man. So it breaks my heart. It's just sad. But my radio station growing up was 98.9 The Rock. They'd play Limp Bizkit, Korn, ICP late at night, kind of like that kind of stuff. So Disturbed was coming to the Uptown Theater here in Kansas City, and I just wanted to go. Straight up, just wanted to go. Didn't have money for tickets. So I hit up the radio station like via AOL, internet, email, and said, look, if you give me tickets, I'll come up there and gargle my own pee. And I sent probably 40 of those emails. And so the day Draymond was in there, they kind of ambushed and brought me in and just freaked them out. And of course, I'm chugging water. My dad drove me there. I'm chugging water all the way there. Excuse me. I get there. I can't piss. So I'm sitting there in the studio with a headset in front of Draymond. I finally get a couple dribbles out. Then I fill up a cup of piss, drink it in front of him. Do the wow! I do the fucking down with the sickness fucking chant with it. And basically, I leave the entire studio stunned, like silence. And Draymond is just, you got to think at the time, he was probably my age. Yeah. And he was just freaked the fuck. He was just very weirded out. And it's just another day at the office for me, man. At that point, I was stapling my nuts to my leg. I mean, that was the Jackass era, man. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Anyway, I got 3 tickets and backstage passes, and I got to bring me and my buddy and another buddy. Kevin was one of them, and we went and we met him backstage that night, and we got in the pit. So it was pretty cool, man.
Did he say anything to you backstage when you met him that night?
Not a word. I think he said, "This is the guy that drank his urine." like very sophisticated David Draymond shit. Like, of course, he made telling his band that this is the kid that drank his piss. He made it sound intellectual. Like
only he can do it.
This is the young man that drove down and sensationalized drinking his urine today in front of some shit like that. And I was like, yeah, that was me, or something like that. So, yeah, man, that was 2006.
It makes for a good icebreaker on a date, right there. For
Absolutely.
Sure. All right, so I'll leave you with this. Every time I do it, first of all, thank you for doing this, David. I really appreciate it, man. Like I said, we've been friends for a long time. You came to my wedding. Thank you. I just want people to know.
Anything for you, man.
We're really, really close. He's a great guy. Please check out Dirty Machine Band on Facebook, all social medias. Like them, follow them. They're fantastic. They've been around for a long time. They're still putting out work. Okay, so I need you to do this for me if you can.
Yeah.
Will you do an intro for me real quick for the show? Just, hey, I'm David from the band, and you're watching local band Smokeout.
Yeah, you ready?
And 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? This is Dirty Davo from Dirty Machine, and you are listening to local band Smokeout with BG.
Perfect. You're awesome, brother.
Got it.
I appreciate you doing this. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk soon, as you know. And,
I'll text you, man.
I'm excited to hear some new stuff from the band when it's time. And I'll see if I can hit up some of my Florida friends to bring a little army to the parking lot for you.
Okay, brother. I'll let you know if we end up doing it.
For sure.
All right, brother. I love you, man.
Love you too. Enjoy the rest of your day.
See ya.
See ya.